Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to new standards of excellence.
Yes.
Say yes to engaging reportage with a difference.
Yes.
Introducing Yes International Magazine. The time to say yes to your dreams and aspirations is here.
So, who is your favorite entrepreneur in Nigeria?
Hey! it's in Nigeria that's the problem.
In Nigeria, let's talk about Nigeria.
When you started, I wanted to just quickly give some feelings. But in Nigeria, my mother, first and foremost.
Okay, what's her name?
Sarah, she's late now. Sarah Aweri Elabaro. My mother never made it big, but I saw her without going to school. Trade. So she used to hot nylon bag. And so the capital is small. So every morning at that time, on a Saturday, this thing women used to tie under their wrapper that's like a purse, it's made out of cloth.
Yeah.
She would tie it on me and give me what looks like 5,000 at the time. I would then go to a company called Salamasaw in Songo to go and buy the nylon. Then we'll bring it back, then we will arrange it in 12. It's called a gorosu at the time. I mean, there are so many street languages that I learned, So I don't go and hug them in the morning. You will then go back in the evening to go and collect the money. By the time you get back, some of these women that bought the nylon in the morning on credit will have run away from their shop just because either they did not sell it or they don't want to pay it. So when we come back, we used to have what looks like a board meeting today. But it wasn't called board meeting at the time. So all my children have gone to work, and herself will sit down and look at the sales, and she will meticulously take out the capital and remove the profits. She will also record what we call debts and record what she calls bad debts without going to school. So she was the first example I will refer to. My dad was also like that. My dad was a bit more cosmopolitan. But in the world today, people don't know my mom, so if they want to know who I will respect, the story of Dangote is intriguing. It's intriguing not because it's successful. It's intriguing because his tenacity wows me all the time. Right? People like to read the success and celebrate the success, but that man is an example of tenacity. And for me, that's what an entrepreneur is. So in Nigeria, maybe there are a lot of people that I will look at that are entrepreneurs today, but Dangote will come first in my mind, just because that's the way you know. There are a lot of other young entrepreneurs today that we don't know that I can reel out in this live interview that are doing excellently well, and they are managing very, very complicated businesses. But
interesting.
As well. Yes.
Interesting. So overseas, who is your favorite entrepreneur?
Okay. I love what Jack Welch did with General Electric. And the story is very intriguing. I recommend that any man that wants any man or woman that is what is sought should read his book, especially the one titled Straight from the Gods. Um, you read the story of Jack Welch and how it's so celebrated as the godfather of corporate governance and all of that. But the man took a single company into a multi-billionaire company, right? And he did it with all the nuances and politics that existed at the time. He was undeterred, he understood his market, but principally for me, he knew when to hire and when to fire. See, no business can survive without the quality of its human capital. And most of us, that's where we get it wrong. And locally here, it's a problem. One of the biggest challenges of human capital, again, one of them is of entrepreneurship is human capital. You don't find the right mix of people. And when you find them, they want to drive Range Rover today. Just employ them and give them Range Rovers today. You know? So, Jack Welch is just an enigma in that regard. And it would top it for me, for any other person. I mean, I know that a lot of people are doing it today, from the Apple to the Facebook to they're doing a lot of good thing. But I think they picked a little bit of knowledge, all of them from Jack Welch. If you read that book, you'll see.
Interesting. Now, I need you to tell us a little about your business. Tell us about IDL and what exactly you do there.
Okay, it's IDCLN.
Okay, IDCLN.
Yes. And people used to say IDCL alone, and I like to add the NG.
Why do you like to add the NG?
I'm very proudly Nigerian.
All right, beautiful. All right, now tell us all right, now tell us about IDCLNG.
We're a 360-degree production company. Our focus is to deliver a complete value when you talk visibility for your brand. We're a B2B company, and our 6 pillars today are branding, fabrication, technical event management. We also have our own printing press. And then we do a refurbishment and sale of POSM and all of that. So that is the end-to-end for me, for anyone who wants to get his product or service to the market. So from the ideation part to when it's really sold to the customer, whatever activity happens there is what we do. In the first instance, we put printing at the hub of our activities very deliberately. Because when you talk brands, you have all the nuances that create a brand. But in communicating a brand, there must be something you see, right? So either visually or physically, there must be something that you see. So when you say a brand color is yellow is not abstract. You have to see it, right? So how do you see it? You need to then begin to either print, create audio visuals. All of those activity is what we do. So
interesting.
And it's the end-to-end of it for me. That's what we do. But if you ask me what's our strength today, branding is the number one thing we are known for. We pride ourselves as the number one branding company in Nigeria because we do branding from the perspective of brands. We have worked with so many brands that we understand what the nuances of branding is, and we understand how to communicate it very clearly. And that strength that we have is that we understand Nigeria. We know this market, and from every angle and cranes of the country, you will see that we have footprints of our activities and what we do in all of those spaces. So that's what most people know us for. But we also do those other 6 things that I spoke about: fabrication, activation, we do branding, we have a printing press, and we do technical event management. And by the way, we are
Interesting.
probably number one red carpet company in Nigeria.
Interesting. Interesting. I like that. I like that. Now, you used to work for a company, I don't know whether the company still exists or it's no longer in existence, called DigiPrint. Why did you leave DigiPrint to set up IDCLNG?
Well, two reasons. The first reason is at the point in a man's life, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to take your destiny into your hands. So I think that's the first critical reason. The second reason is that DigiPrint got to a point where I found out that my dedication and loyalty to the brand wasn't yielding the desired results. And all the ideas that I have were encumbered by the stuff I find myself in, by the way the organization is structured. I am not the owner, so I still take directions from people who do not understand the way I see the business and the way I see the industry growing. We were so happy with the money we're making today as at that time, today as at that time, that they didn't see that we might go into oblivion in another 5 years. And I thought, I don't want to sit here. So that's the main reason that I left. But what drove that reason really for me is that the spark of entrepreneurship was beginning to glow in my mind. And I thought that I need to see the wheel of development start rolling. And I thought to myself that I won't do it sitting on this desk and just speaking English. Let me go and get my hands dirty.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, why are most people reluctant to quit paid employment from your experience?
I was at a lady's office day before yesterday, a company called Unseat, and my dear sister there who had a meeting with wrote something along. She said you must always, it's not verbatim, I'm just trying to quote as I remember it. You must always be challenged the place of your discomfort. Or you must always be, don't always stay at the place of your comfort, something like that. And that was intriguing for me. My former boss, Webber, said to me one day that, what do you want to become? I said, I want to be the MD. He said, do you mean you want to unseat me? I said, absolutely yes. I don't want to just sit here with the politics. I want to remove you one day and be yourself. I didn't find that funny. You must, as a human being, continue to see that you challenge your comfort zone. Most people who are working today, not all of us will be entrepreneurs, just let's take that. Some people are still going to pursue their life the way and retire that way, and there's nothing wrong with it. But the thing I see from most Nigerians is that we cherish that comfort that paid employment gives, right? So your salary is guaranteed irrespective of the service that you give. Sometimes you start growing financially when you are not growing academically, in experience, you're not growing anything else. You are just growing financially, right? And people tend to like that. Plus, people tend to hail you when you change from a Toyota to a Mercedes-Benz, from a Mercedes-Benz to a Range Rover, and all of that. And you start sleeping in bigger hotels and flying first class at the expense of your business, of your company. People want all of that. People want paid holidays. People want all the comforts that paid employment gives. I think that's the problem. Because when you want to give up all of that and start pursuing one bank to give you loan and all of that, and then looking for someone, you just wonder, I don't want all of this. Right? And that's why you see that most people in Nigeria who have climbed to the pinnacle of their career in corporate practice. And this statistics is not backed by facts. I think almost 70% were unable to do anything else. Right? They tried their hands on one or two businesses, the businesses will fly. Just because they did not challenge the space of their discomfort when they needed to. So I think that's the biggest one. There are other reasons. I mean, some people just figure that, oh, we've looked for things and these things are not available. We've tried to do things, those things are not there. So those are the things I see.
Interesting.